don't. We are not concerned about the POI there. We are not concerned about where price is going into. No. What we are more concerned about is trading the AMD pattern. Okay, we want to be sure that this what the Asia session that range is actually trying to give us what the AMD pattern. And how do we get that? We need to see this manipulation through first. Okay. Now, like I said, in some situation, price might take out this high, okay, before coming back into this zone, into our higher time frame POI before a break of structure. Okay. And sometimes it could come to an OTE here before trying to break high. Now, if you watch some of the videos you get online about AMD, they'll tell you, you see someone telling you this is your entry. Now, I'm here to tell you that they are wrong. Okay. Because I have been in a lot of trade several times, okay, where price doesn't respect this level. Price breaks out fine, okay, but it still breaks out of this low here. It breaks out of this low, okay, forms another breakout, then breaks back in. It breaks back in, forming another break of structure before moving to the direction of daily bias, okay, before moving to the direction of the daily bias, thereby forming an AMD. Now, you don't want to be caught in this kind of moves, which is why I'm giving you what I understand the perfect way to trade AMD. You understand? Everything you see online is not the perfect way to trade AMD. You might get something like what I'm trying to explain to you. Okay, you might see it online after today. You might see it a lot online after today, but that is because you have seen it here. You see it online after today a lot. Okay, but that is because you've seen it here, and you get to understand that you have been seeing it, but you fail to understand it. Okay, so let me take all this off. This is not your entry. This is not your entry. Okay, now let's take all this off. Now, like I said, you might get a sweep of this high buy side liquidity if you're in a bullish scenario, or you might equally not get it, and you get price manipulating into what your POI straight without taking the sell side buy side liquidity. Okay, then it breaks out, then it continues breaking out, moving in. Okay, now it comes to this level, it breaks out of the Asian high. Okay, it breaks out of the Asian what high. You want to see price break out of this Asian high before considering a move for the AMD setup. You want to see price break out. You don't want to see price in this zone before you conclude, then you conclude it's an AMD setup. You don't want to see price this way. No, you don't want to see it, or either. Hold on. You don't want to see price, okay, breakout, then you say, this is an AMD setup. No, you want to see price move out of the Asian high. You understand? It could be by 2 pip, 3 pip, 4 pip. It could go as high as this. Okay, it doesn't matter to you. What really matters to you, you want to see this high, okay, either of this high formed before the New York Q zone opens. You want to see it formed before the New York Q zone opens. Fine, if it forms during the New York Q zone opens, fine, it's still okay. It's still very perfect, okay? But you don't want price to be in this zone and you are looking for entries to enter. No. Your entries can only come during the New York Q zone, okay? Your entries only come during the New York Q zone. You understand? Your entries only come during the New York Q zone. Your entries only come during the New York Q zone. Okay, if you don't understand this, when I'll take you to the chart so that you get it properly. Okay, you understand it properly. Okay, but meanwhile, make sure you understand this diagram, if possible, be drawing it down as I'm drawing it here. Always be drawing it down. Okay. So let's go ahead. Now we have already had our London session. We're done with our London session. Okay. We don't want to see price breaking this level during London session. No, that is another candlestick formation. Okay, that is they call it what do you call it? They call it whether expansion, something like that. Okay, or sometimes it could be this seek and destroy model, but I don't want you to go into all that. I don't want to go into all that now. We might do a video about that later. Okay, we might do a video about that later, but let's just focus on the AMD. Okay, we don't want to see price break this level with during the London session. No, we don't want to see it break this level. It could come as London session could come as close as this. It's perfect. Okay, it's perfect. It's still perfect. You understand? London session could be as short as this. Eh? You understand? It doesn't have to manipulate in here. Okay, understand me? It doesn't have to manipulate in here. London session could be as short as this. Okay, London session could be as short as this. Okay, London session could be as short as this, as long as it takes the sell side liquidity. Okay, as long as it takes the sell side liquidity and breaks a structure, it is still perfect. And you don't, like I said, you don't want to see London take out this high. Okay, you don't want to see an overlapping. This is an overlapping. This is a seek and destroy model. You don't want to see it. Okay, you don't want to see it. Now let's do some. Let me write. Okay, don't worry. When we go to the charts, okay, I'll do all that. I wanted to write the basics of why you should be taking your trades. Okay, so let's just go back to where we were. What is that? Yes. Okay, let's just go back to where we were. Okay, so this is where we were. All right. So now we're done with the London session. Okay, we're done with the London section. Now we're going into the what? The New York session. Okay, we're going to the New York session. We want to see price. Okay, we want to see price retracement into the New York session POI. Now remember what I told you earlier. I said this Asian field zone. Yeah, this Asian session is a field of landmines, bombs in here. Okay, it's a field of landmine and bombs in here. Now you want to see in a regular sense, we have this is another block. All right. Okay. In a regular sense, this is another block. Okay. What do we have here? Other block. Okay. We could say this is another block. Okay. We could say this is another block. All right. So easier for us to understand. This could be another block. Okay. It it not every time it will be another block. You need to understand it might not be another block all the time. Sometimes you could get a fair value gap. Okay. Sometimes it could be a fair value gap. Sometimes it could be a fair value gap. But you need to understand, this is what I need you to understand. If you are looking for your POIs in these zones, okay, now, if you're looking for your POIs in this zone, you must make sure your POI overlaps a time frame, okay? Now, you need to be searching for this setup on a 15-minute time frame. You need to be searching for it on a 15-minute time frame. Then if you get your POIs, each of these POIs, in any of these POIs on 15 minutes, okay? If you get any of these POIs on 15 minutes, you could say, okay, you go to your 30 minutes, you see if there's that if that POI is valid there. If it's visibly valid on 30 minutes time frame, then you can use it. Okay? Because there's a high chance that that POI is still there on 1 hour time frame. You understand? Let me call it PDRA. Okay, it's easier for me to let's just use any PDRA. Okay, let's take this out. Let's say PDRA. It could be other block. Okay, it doesn't have to be other block. It could be other block, it could be deeper block, it could be mitigation block. You understand? It could be any of them. You understand? It could be the lows, okay, the extreme low of this V for resistance, sorry, support level here. It could be the extreme, the old lows. Yeah, we call it old lows. Okay, it could be the old lows. But you need to understand that it is also a PD array. Okay, and that PD array has to be in this Asian field, not here, not outside here. No, you don't want to take any PD array here. They are invalid. Okay, they are invalid. Okay, this breaker block you see, this breaker block you are seeing here is invalid. Price will never come back to use it. Okay, price will never come back to use it. This other block you are seeing is invalid for an AMD setup. It's invalid. Okay, price will never come back to use it. You understand me very well. Price will never come back to use it. So let's continue. Okay. Now our Q zone, our New York Q zone should happen somewhere here. Okay. Should happen somewhere here. So want to see price retracing. Okay. Want to see price retracement into our POI. Okay. Want to see price retracement into our POI. Okay, which is our PD array. We want to see price retracing into that zone. Then our time for New York should be our time for New York. Okay, New York Q zone is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Okay, these are trading session for New York. Okay, anything outside this we don't trade. Anything outside this we're not taking that trade. You understand me? Anything outside this, anything outside this, we're not taking that trade. Okay? Anything, even if it's 15 minutes before the end of this new session and price comes into your PI, you are taking that trade. All right, understand me? You are taking this trade. Mhm. So there's nothing to be afraid. As long as price comes into your POI, okay, you take this trade from here. Remember what I said? Your POI has to be inside this Asian field, not outside here. It cannot be outside. It cannot be here. No, it must be inside this range here. It must be in this range. And you have to apply a lot of patience to it. Okay? This pattern will not come every day, but when it comes, it plays out beautifully.